Coming up next on the Commissioner's Report, we all know that recycling is a great way to keep our environment healthy, reducing the amount of trash that gets sent to the landfill. So how well are we doing to keep Polk County beautiful? Commissioner Ed Smith will be here for that discussion. And we're taking the show on the road to Florida Polytechnic University. Commissioner John Hall will join me there as we look back at the school's successful first year and give you an inside view from their amazing building. It's all coming up on this August edition of the Commissioner's Report. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Commissioner's Report. And joining me, as you can see, is Commissioner Ed Smith. Commissioner, it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here this morning.
And our guest is Katie Yoxall. Katie is the Executive Director of Keep Polk County Beautiful. And if you want to know the mission, it's exactly what the name is, Keep Polk County Beautiful. Katie, thank you for being here as well.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Commissioner, I want to ask you about recycling, because that's a big part of what Keep Polk County Beautiful does. We've known about recycling for a number of years, but I don't know if everyone is still doing it. Why is it so important to get everyone involved with recycling?
Well, you know, I think the main thing is, number one, it cleans up our areas. We need to do that primarily. The second thing is, you know, we have, regardless of what we think, we have limited space in our landfills. We can't just keep landfilling and landfilling and landfilling. We've got to do something with this material. The smart thing to do, of course, is to reuse it or to recycle it, and that's what we're all about here. And I'm sure Katie has a lot more information than I have on that, but it is so important that we do that as a society, not just Polk County, but as a society.
You know, Katie, there's a lot of items, and we're going to actually have a little test here a little bit later on. Katie does this when you go out to schools and community events. Recycle it or trash it, and we're going to do that in just a little bit. But a lot of people maybe are recycling newspapers, because we've been doing that for years, and aluminum cans. But that's just really the tip of the iceberg, isn't it?
We can recycle almost 70% of what we throw in the garbage, and then an additional 10% of that can be composted if you decide to compost and garden and all of that. So we're actually really throwing away a majority of recyclables that could go in the recycling bin so that we can reduce the amount that we actually landfill.
Now, some of the items here on our table that you may think these are just like giveaways. Oh, she brought me a nice jacket, but Frisbee and some carpet, but these are all made, Katie, from recycled material.
Yes, all of it's made from recycled materials. I know that generally when you think of recycling a plastic bottle, you think, oh, I'm going to get a new Dasani bottle or a new Zephyr Hills bottle. But plastic doesn't just go to recycle to make more plastic. We actually can make it into poly blends and fibers. And it goes into our fleece and polyesters, so like our jacket. And we also recycle plastic and make carpets out of it. Mohawk makes specialty carpets out of plastic. And of course our Frisbee's made out of plastic as well. And another thing that we recycle that we don't put in our recycling bin, so kids, if you're watching this, please do not try and throw this in your recycling bin. I think it'd be a little heavy for you anyways, are tires. And we host several tire recycling events where my king of tire recycling sits here. We host these several events throughout the year. And when we recycle tires in Polk County, we actually send them to be made into energy, because with special technology, tires burn hotter and cleaner than coal.
Okay.
However, you can also recycle tires and make them into mulch or pavers that we put out by our pools.
Wow, I thought that was just the letter I, but that's a paver made out of old tires, right?
Old tires, yeah.
Yeah. Commissioner, you've been to some of these tire events. What's kind of interesting about these events, people sometimes have tires that have just been collecting on their property, and on these events, it's kind of like an amnesty day for tires. They're allowed to bring them. There's no charge, just drop them off free of charge, correct?
Absolutely, that's absolutely true. And of course, another thing we do is we go around and pick those things up. And during these events, we ask people, if you have old tires on your property, just bring it out by the road and we'll stop by and pick them up. So when we have these events, it's really to everybody's advantage to recycle these things. And the good thing is it cleans up the neighborhood. One of the things we learned I guess, very soon into this process, is that the old tires collect stagnant water, and we know stagnant water translates to mosquitoes. An excellent breeding ground for mosquito larvae is in these old tires. And mosquito abatement is a project that I have been working on for about 2 years now, specifically in 2 communities, and that's Mulberry and Bartow, that really have an issue with mosquitoes. And so getting those old tires out of their community has also the secondary benefit of mosquito abatement.
Yeah, I know you like those kind of programs when you're maybe, taking care of 2 problems all at once, beautifying the air, recycling, and getting rid of mosquitoes. Katie, earlier this month, in the month of August, you had a chance to speak to the board. I know we're not going to go over all of that, but as a general overview, I think you had some good news for them.
Yeah, we discussed our Clean It Up to Green It Up project, which is an initiative set by the Board of County Commissioners and run through my organization, where we select certain communities throughout Polk County, and we target those communities to pick up curbside the garbage that's not in our contract to pick up. So nothing like couches or regular household garbage. That kind of stuff can be set to the curb and picked up. This is for construction debris, remodeling debris, old fencing, maybe the hurricanes that came through many years ago. You haven't gotten around to take down the shed that blew over. It's to pick up those items curbside. And then we set up an event, a tire recycling event inside these communities, where we ask the community members to bring us their tires. If they're not able to, of course, set them by the curb. We'll send some volunteers. Maybe code enforcement will come out. Maybe my king of recycling will come out.
You have a new title here, right?
Yes, I didn't know that.
If we have to put them in the Volkswagen, we'll put them in the Volkswagen. We'll get them however we can to recycle them free of charge to help keep these communities clean and litter free and get them back to a good based community.
Now you mentioned something there, the Volkswagen, the bug.
The bug.
That's the bug. If you see this bug, that's Katie's bug, and I like what it says, trash bugs me. Is that what it says on the
Litter
side?
bugs
Litter
me.
bugs me, okay.
Sadie says litter bugs me, and that's Sadie the ladybug. We wanted an education campaign that was bigger than life, so that when we were out and about, there was no doubt you weren't going to miss us. Schools were not going to miss us. Kids were not going to miss us. When we go to a school and talk to those children, they're going to go home and be like, Mom, Dad, guess what I saw? I saw Sadie the ladybug, and she says litter bugs me, and you better recycle. So we wanted something bigger than life, and I think
I love
she's
the way
that.
you say da bug.
Da bug.
The bug.
The kind.
The kind bug.
I know, Commissioner, you're excited about Keep Polk County Beautiful, the organization, because it's basically volunteers that are doing this work.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the biggest benefit of keeping Polk County clean and beautiful, and I've said this so many times, it restores community pride, and that's what it's all about. People love a nice, clean community. They might not know how to do it or how to get rid of some of this stuff that accumulates.
Right.
And but when we come out there, and the real beauty of Katie's organization, I've said this so many times before, is it's primarily manned by volunteers. And it's a point now when Katie says we're going to have a cleanup, or they put it in the paper, people just come out of the woodworks to help. It's amazing the people that show up and the number that show up and who they are. Just people from all walks of life are out there helping. And like she says, I'm out there slinging tires, but I'm not the only one. I mean, there's people from every walks of life. I've seen ministers out there doing it. A lot of policemen and sheriff's deputies and all kinds of people are out there doing it.
Right.
So
we couldn't do it without our volunteers and
Absolutely.
without your support and the help of everyone. Everyone put together can keep Polk County
everyone
beautiful.
doing their small
Yes.
part makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. One of the things that Katie does, she goes out in the community and does these little, is it trash, is it recycling tests, and we have a demonstration we want to do here. So we have our own Vanna White. She's going to be modeling, I guess, the trash. I hesitated to call her a trash model, but Ariel is going to help us out here. We appreciate that. But Katie, she's going to hold up an item, and I know Commissioner Smith probably knows all this, and I've tried to know some of this, but it's amazing how, well, maybe we don't know. Katie's always teaching us something new. But it's amazing how much we all know about newspapers perhaps, but so many other things. And so you're the expert, so we'll let her hold up an item. All right, we'll let Ariel hold up. What does she got here? Let's see what she has. All right, what do we got there, Katie?
That's a styrofoam cup. What do you guys think? What do you think? Trash or recycling?
I think we need to trash those.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to argue with the commissioner, but yes, let's trash it then.
Here in Polk County, we're actually going to trash those. I know in some counties, in some areas, they do recycle those. However, there's no market for it here, so we trash them.
Not here. Okay.
Not here.
All right. What else do we have here?
Cardboard. I think we all know.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, that's easy.
We can recycle that one.
We're going to recycle that.
And let me ask you, along with that, when you think of cardboard, does that also include like cereal boxes and what about
All
pizza
kinds
boxes though?
Pizza boxes are a little bit different. Because oil can leak onto the box, it actually becomes contaminated.
Okay.
So that actually needs to go in the garbage.
Because I've seen pizza boxes in recycling bins, and I've always thought, I don't think that's what you're supposed to do.
Now, if the lid of your cardboard of your pizza box didn't end up with,
Okay.
anything on it, by all means, rip that off and throw it in the recycling. But
All right.
chances are it needs to go in the garbage.
All right, Vanna, what do you have next?
That is paper, but it's glossy paper, like sticker paper.
I don't know about that, boy. That's a
Now I'm
toughie
thinking
there.
paper. You recycle paper, but
We
because
do
it's
recycle paper.
but it's glossy paper. So is that a
Maybe that one needs to trash.
trash?
That one we throw in the trash.
All right.
Anytime your paper is wax coated
Wax
or
coated.
shiny, shiny's the key word to that one.
Okay.
If it's shiny, it goes in the garbage. So
Okay.
anytime it has that gloss coating, garbage.
Okay. And next, those are the
The
tabs.
plastic six-pack rings.
Yes.
We all learned a very valuable lesson from Happy Feet. I'm sure you guys remember that movie if you have kids,
Yes.
grandkids.
Yes.
Well, I know you're supposed to cut these up so animals don't get
Yep.
caught, but I'm assuming it's plastic. So do you recycle it?
I think it's recyclable.
It is recyclable. But make
right.
sure you cut it up. Happy
Cut it
Feet
up.
taught us a very valuable lesson.
Okay.
Plastic bags.
Well-
Oh, dum.
I just have to tell you, I have been told by the recycling people that those things are horrid for their machine if they are doing single stream recycling.
They get
And-
stuck in the star
Right.
screens and shut down production.
Exactly, and they get in their rollers, they get rolled around. So what these people do when they break for lunch, they have to go and clean those bags off of their rollers so they can continue production after lunch.
So when
They
they
do.
see those bags, they're not happy. So
no, they don't
trash.
like to see them.
Well,
Or
they
no?
don't
Well-
go into our recycling bin, but we should recycle them. You keep them separate.
Oh, okay.
Collect them separately, drop them off at Publix, Walmart, any of the local supermarkets.
Oh, okay. That way it's a bag just of those bags.
Yes,
Okay.
because they are recycled.
Okay.
And it's probably better that they end up in the recycling stream rather than the trash stream because they're so lightweight.
Okay.
And the chemicals that they're made with, they could end up in our oceans
Okay.
and they could do some damage.
We're going to run out of time here. So that goes, I guess, in the recycling bin reluctantly. All right, we got a phone there maybe. Maybe we can just quickly speed through things. Phones, you don't recycle phones, do you?
Not in our recycling bin, but we do recycle old phones. So make sure you set those aside as well.
That's a separate recycling.
Separate, sorry. Okay. How about we know about newspaper. How about the battery here?
Batteries are a good one. I get calls about these all the time. Batteries, unless they state rechargeable or recyclable, they need to go in the garbage. There's not enough hazardous chemicals to hurt our landfill at that point, so throw it in the garbage unless it says rechargeable or recyclable.
All right, into the trash, I guess.
Into
It's
the
gonna
trash.
make a clunk there. And we're going to run out of time, I think. But there's an ink cartridge there, I see.
Yep,
Those are trash, right?
we recycle.
You
ink
recycle
cartridges.
ink cartridges?
Not in our bin, but set them aside. You can take them to Staples and recycle them.
Exactly. They
Okay.
just use a hypodermic and recycle that.
And we know about plastic, we know about newspaper. I want to get to the very last one here, the glass. I think you recycle glass, even though we were having a discussion earlier. I don't know what the benefits are, but we don't throw it in the trash. Am I right?
That's right. We definitely want to always recycle our glass if possible. We don't want to landfill it. We definitely want to recycle it. It doesn't matter if it's blue, green, pink, purple, orange. It doesn't matter. Recycle it because it takes over 1 million years for glass to actually naturally break down into the environment. In fact, we don't really know if it will at that point. It'll always keep its form unless broken.
Wow.
So make sure that we recycle it and put it back to better use.
So nobody's taken it through the whole period to see if it takes that long.
I'm not sure if anybody's made it through the 1 million years, but
We're in the early
I'll let
stages
you
right
know
now,
when I
so-
make it through my,
Okay.
100.
Okay.
Well, if you have any questions about any of these things that you've seen, the best way is to get a hold of Katie at keeppolkcountybeautiful.org. And you can also give you a phone call at your office. Your office number is 863-875-8911. I
That's
got it
right. Anytime. Call me, email me, look me up on the web. I'm happy to answer anybody's questions or help out with a community-based cleanup or project.
Katie, thanks for being here. I know you're doing great work. The commissioner is very pleased with your efforts. And
Absolutely. Katie she's one of Polk County's jewels. I'll tell you that for sure.
We call her a recycling jewel. Anyway, Katie, Commissioner Smith, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're literally going to take the show on the road. We're going to go up to Florida Polytechnic University and find out how their first year has gone and take a look at that amazing building. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Commissioner's Report. As you can see, we have moved out of the studio. I wish we had a studio this big, but that's not in the cards. And we've moved north to Florida Polytechnic University. Commissioner John Hall is here, of course, as always, and of course our guest. Thank you for having us here, Crystal Lauderdale. She's the Director of Communications. Crystal, thank you so much for helping us get this all organized and set up.
Well, it's great to have you guys here.
Well, thank you. Commissioner, it's funny, you were here for this show with Jim DeGennaro about a year ago, not in this building, as they were getting ready to kick things off, and I know it felt like it was an exciting time. And now we're going to look back at that year, but it's hard to imagine a year has passed.
It is hard to imagine a year has passed. It was an exciting time. Any time that you're starting a new endeavor like this, it's an exciting time. We were in the admissions building last year, and now we're in the main building on campus, and it is a fantastic view and a fantastic building. We've had a great year, of all the reports that I've had, and Crystal can add to those items, but it's been just a fantastic year here at Poly, and looking forward to the second one.
Well, Chris, let me let people know where we are, because if they drive by the interstate, they see this amazing building. We're up on the second floor, I guess the basic commons area. What is this called? Where are we?
We call this the Commons. This is the second floor of the Innovation, Science, and Technology building, and that's the big building that everybody sees from I-4. And this is where, during the school year, all of our students are hanging out, they're studying, they're sitting here between classes, meeting with faculty. It's also the home of our digital library. So you might know that we have an all-digital library. It's famous for not having any hard copy books, and it's the home of our technology services desk. So it's a great place for students to get all of the services that they need to study and all of the resources they need to do their coursework right here.
You know, we were talking before the taping, and you were saying, President Avant was excited about this first year. One of the things, and presidents don't like surprises, and you were saying, weren't very many of those this year, was it?
Yes, he likes to say that the biggest surprise for us last year was that there weren't very many big surprises. It went really smoothly, for which we're grateful. We had 554 students in our inaugural class, which is small for a university, but a lot for us to welcome, going from nothing to 554. And we're getting ready to welcome about 550 more. So we're going to effectively double our student population this coming year.
Yeah, you won't probably do that again. Early on, you can double your student enrollment, but that's amazing. You know, it's funny when you think about this, Commissioner. A lot of those students, I don't know what the percentages are from Polk County and certainly from this area. I know that you're very excited about that because students don't have to leave the county to get this kind of an education.
Absolutely. Early on, I said this is going to be the MIT of Florida. Eventually, as people get accustomed to it, find out it's here, we're going to keep our best and brightest minds right here in Polk County. Now, we have some that are coming from outside, obviously, and that's great. They want a good quality education. But when we can train and keep our people here, and this is going to be the catalyst for a lot of the high-tech jobs that we're hoping to actually get to come in here. We're hoping that we can convince them that we have a trained workforce, and this is the catalyst for that.
You know, when you look at economic impact, they want immediate results, and perhaps there are some, but imagine though long-term results economically with students getting educated here and staying here with those kind of technology jobs that are here now and are coming. That's the long-term economic impact I know you're excited about.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, we have a CRA just to the east of us, and it's going to have a spine road that runs south off of Pace Road, and there's going to be a lot of development in that area. We've got some inquiries from hotels, motels, Russ Matt Baseball is moving to the Lake Myrtle complex from Winter Haven. And I think that with everything that is going on right now, it's poised to really take off as far as some development, as far as high-tech jobs in this corridor and around this university.
And I know, Crystal, when you think about how quickly this came about, I think in 2012 is when the school was founded.
Right.
And you had your first class in just 2 years later. That's pretty quick. How in the world are you able to pull those kind of things off together?
It's a lot of hard work, definitely, on the part of the faculty and the staff. We had a phrase called poly time for a while, which meant that we were working at lightning speed. And then getting the students in here, their energy keeps us energized to keep things going. We certainly don't want to lose momentum because we did get a lot accomplished in that first year and to get the university started, but there's definitely still a lot of work to keep it growing and to get that talent pipeline that the commissioner is referring to.
How important has it been when you think of the community support, the county support for this first year and obviously in the years coming?
It's been enormously important, and we've had a lot of great support from the community. I point out to a lot of people that most universities that are established have an alumni base, and that's where they get a lot of their support. We're brand new, so we don't have any alumni, and we internally we refer to our community as our honorary alumni right now because they're the ones backing us, and they're the ones who are the cheerleaders for the university, and they've supported us, just in talking about the university and in getting behind it, but also in helping us with fundraising. Because a lot of our entire inaugural class received scholarships their first year. Our second class is going to receive scholarships, and so is our third class coming in. And a lot of that has come from the community.
You had some good news that I know that was in the newspapers just recently about an anonymous donor making a very big contribution. I know that's someone here has got some deep pockets here in the county. I know you're both excited about this.
Well, yes, actually, there's been a group of people that got behind Florida Poly right to begin with, and it was called Florida Poly Vision. And that group is still together. They've changed the name of that, and I think it is now Florida Poly Fellows. Fellows. And they're starting to make calls and ask for contributions because the only way to tap into that $1 million is to have it match something. So we're looking for contributions from our public. This school is going to be huge for our economic impact going into the future. And for those people in our public that can see that and want to get involved, we ask that they contribute right now so that we can take advantage of this $1 million.
So this is a $1 million match. You'll match up to $1 million, all the perhaps little donations that people are making. So if someone's interested in doing that, how do they do that, Crystal?
They can email advancements@flpoly.org, or they can call 863-874-8417 to contribute. And it's a challenge match, so an anonymous donor has committed to matching up to $1 million that the foundation raises. So it's a good opportunity for other donors to effectively double their contribution. If you wanted to donate $1,000, you could effectively donate $2,000 because of this match. So we're extremely grateful for the support.
And we're going to put that number and email address on the screen again. So if you didn't get it right then, it's coming again. So just bear with us. When you think about your alumni, obviously you don't have any yet. You haven't had a graduating class yet. What's the schedule? Are we going to see a graduating class anytime soon?
Well, we're hoping to graduate our first class in the spring of 2016, and that is our goal. We have not only first-time freshmen coming in, that's the majority of our class, but we have transfer students and we have graduate students as well. So in that 554 and in that 550 coming in, there's a wide mix of students.
The students are obviously so important at any school and university, but here they're getting a chance to be the first students and establishing the culture, and part of that was coming up with the name, the nickname, the mascot, which is the Phoenix.
It is the Phoenix.
But that was kind of like a dark horse that won. Tell me about that, Crystal.
That was a great process this past spring. Our inaugural class, they were the first. Part of what they came here for was to be the first and to get the culture going, as you said, and part of that is picking out a mascot. Every university needs a mascot, something to symbolize school spirit. So we came up with a process that was in the spirit of Poly, a little bit of hands-on learning mixed in with a little bit of fun. We gave students a course in design thinking, and we gave them some goals for coming up with our mascot. It had to be appealing to a certain audience. It had to really fit the university's mission. And students formed teams, and together they came up with concepts. We had 20 teams that came up with some initial concepts. We gave them feedback and narrowed it down to a top 10. And that top 10 presented to the president and his cabinet, who narrowed it down to a top 4, and we left a write-in option for students in case we'd accidentally neglected their favorite. And their favorite happened to be the Phoenix. So they wrote that in, and it won, and we revealed it on April 22nd, which was the last day of our first year.
And it's interesting when the Phoenix, when you look at this building, and help me if I say these things, the louvers, the things that move up and down, they kind of look like those Phoenix wings, I guess, right? Is that what we're...
It is, and that actually inspired the team who came up with the Phoenix. They were inspired by the louvers rising all at once, and we tried to work that into the design too. So if you look at the actual design of the Phoenix, it's got 4 feathers on each side that symbolize STEM and our 4 values, but they also look like the louvers of the building rising up.
Commissioner, there are some interesting and attractive buildings in different places, and Polk County has Bach Tower, that's iconic, but already this facility, even early on when they were building, people may have no idea what that was, but you couldn't help but turn your head and what is going on there? This is an iconic image here in Polk County that people are seeing all over the world.
Yes, they are. We are, as you said, blessed to have Bach Tower. We also are blessed to have the largest Frank Lloyd Wright group of buildings in the county at another one of our learning institutions, Florida Southern. But here, I think that one look at the building and you're going to be able to identify that is Florida Poly. And that is, I think, what we were looking for.
Yeah, very unique, isn't it?
Yes.
It's been already featured in truck commercials, and
it has.
You were here when all that was going on, right?
I was. We had it was perfect timing. We had a Dodge Ram commercial filmed here while we were under construction. They were looking for a construction site specifically, and the theme of the campaign was that Ram trucks were made to build modern marvels, and we just happened to have a modern marvel in the works here.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how easy it is just for people to come by and visit this place, but they need to if they instead of just driving by. It's funny how when you live in an area, you just drive by places for years and you never stop in, and you probably need to do that. And you might be inclined to say, you know what, I want to donate and be a part of that $1 million match. Again, give us that email address and phone number one more time if people want to be a part of that.
Sure, it's advancement@flpoly.org if they want to contribute, and the phone number is 863-874-8417.
See, and you didn't even have to look at your notes. She did a great job. Crystal, thank you so much again for allowing us to be here and giving us kind of like a tour, so to speak. And please let us come back. I know we'd love to come back maybe when at nighttime or when the students. Right now, there are no students here as we're going. They're going to be here in a few weeks, and then I have a feeling this place is going to be a little more busy.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I have actually been here when we've had people on the campus, and it does fill up, and it does get busy.
Well, Commissioner, before we close, this is the end of the show. This is also the end of the road, so to speak, for someone, Jim DeGennaro, his county term. And I know he's been a favorite of so many people. He used to sit in this chair, and I know DG, he is going to be missed.
Everyone is going to miss DG. As a matter of fact, when I'm with him, I've never been any place that he did not know at least half of the people in the room. I mean, he is well known. He is a consummate professional at what he has done over the years. We can't say enough about him. If we really got started, then this show would be twice as long.
Yeah, it would be an hour-long program. Yeah,
but DG will be missed,
right.
And hopefully we will be able to see him. He'll come back and do some stuff with us.
Well, when you think about how much he loves Polk County, I don't think he's going too far. He just won't be clocking in and working.
There you go.
A little more leisure. Anyway, Crystal, thank you so much again for having us, Commissioner.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate you being here
coming.
as well, and thank you for joining us. And tell you what, one last time, we'll let DG send us out as only he can on a final edition of the Commissioner's Report.
Please take care and enjoy this beautiful place we call home.